Oh boy, Konami's not gonna be happy about this one. So you know how on the latest ban list, Konami just nerfed a skill used by the Paradox Brothers for being used in places it definitely wasn't intended to be played? Oh yeah. The Paradox Brothers are back again. I am 100% guaranteeing you this skill is going to be nerfed or changed in some way to stop allowing this to happen, because essentially, well, Konami hates skills that are being used as they are not intended to be played, and this is the definition of that. This entire combo is going to be a 0-card combo. That means your starting combo requires you to have literally not a single card from your deck. It does require a discard of a card in hand, but that card is given to you by your skill anyway. It requires you to have 0 monsters on field, because your skill will provide you with the monsters on field. It's literally a 0-card combo. And on top of that, it's also going to be a 100% consistent combo, because the entire combo is provided to you via the skill, so you can't brick. You can't brick, and your combo is a 0-card combo. It's going to look rather disgusting. Now, before you guys get all up in arms and start shouting emergency ban or anything like that, which I'm going to be suffering in the title because clickbait, this deck list, it isn't that great, because although it's a fantastic going first combo, which is probably going to be nearly unbeatable outside of owning a DD Crow, going second, you do nothing. I mean that, you do nothing. Because your field's going to start with 3 Gate Guardian dudes on the field during your opponent's turn. So if they remove the Gate Guardians, well, you can't do anything. Or if they don't remove the Gate Guardians and they just set some back row any sort of disruption, and they stop your Draco Sack summoning its tokens, yeah, that's it of your turn. So this deck list is a purely going first combo, but it's an insane going first combo. I wouldn't be surprised if some dude just takes this into the next KC Cup or the World's Qualifier and just plays 6,000 games of it during the event to get a top 100 placing, so Konami will ban this deck list, because it is that kind of a deck list where you can just sort of try to cheese out a 52% win rate by occasionally winning going second off some miracle, and going first guaranteed winning if your opponent doesn't have a DD Crow, so I wouldn't be surprised if this deck list is gets a couple of toppings in a KC Cup or something. But that's enough of me talking. It's time to show you guys the Paradox Brothers getting their revenge on Konami. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before I get into the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, it's apparently about 35% of people watching this are even subscribed to the channel, meaning 65% of you haven't even clicked that button yet. So if you guys are enjoying this kind of content and want to see more videos just like this in the future, remember to hit the like button down below and consider subscribing to the channel. I have a whole bunch of videos planned, including Galaxy, your Chronomaly, your S-Force, and even a couple more Orcust builds, including Onomatopoeia and Gandora, which is a video I'll be uploading just a few hours after this one, I'm pretty sure. So if you guys are interested in seeing any of that content, remember to like this video and consider subscribing. And without further ado, let's get into this deck list. Alright, so this deck list probably looks extremely strange to anyone that hasn't played it before, simply because, well, it's going to be doing a lot of weird stuff that's just going to be breaking the game, using a skill that is definitely not going to be used for its intended purposes. So, for people that haven't used Elements Unite before, this skill essentially summons 3 dudes to the field at the start of the duel, and adds a Gate Guardian to your hand, at the cost of nearly all your life points, and you start with no other cards in hand. So you've only got your Gate Guardian, and your 3 dudes on the field. But thankfully, these 3 dudes, they happen to be level 7. So although the intended purpose is obviously to tribute summon all these dudes and summon out your Gate Guardian, we're of course not going to be doing that. We're going to be taking these level 7s and turning them into a copy of your Draco Sack, which will then summon 2 tokens to the field. This will then go into a copy of your Nightmare Phoenix, then go into a copy of Nightmare Mermaid, summon out some Orcust stuff, and all of a sudden, you're going to be doing this really ridiculous combo, which I won't sort of explain here, I'll just show you during the gameplays, it's a lot easier that way, but essentially, you're just going to be ending on an end board that is going to be a Shooting Riser Dragon, which will summon back a Magician's Robe, so you can go into a Black Rose Dragon during your opponent's turn, nuke their entire field, and of course you'll have your Dingisu on the field to protect your entire field from destruction, so only your opponent's going to be getting nuked. And on top of that, you're also going to be using a copy of your Orchestrated Return to draw 2 cards, which is basically going to be nearly guaranteed going to be back row every single time. So you'll end on a Black Rose Dragon Nuke and 2 guaranteed back row. Your opponent is just going to have such a hard time playing through all that shit. So the last thing I want to mention before we move on to the gameplay portion of the video is basically this entire deck list. The trap cards in it, they can be whatever you feel like. Don't be playing the exact same back row ratios as I'm playing, because I'm just playing whatever I own, as you guys should be too. Needle Sealing is fantastic in this deck list. Honestly, I should be playing a third one. I don't know why I am. I should be playing 3 of these. But Needle Sealing is fantastic in this deck list because your Ningirsu, just like protects you from Black Rose, it would also protect you from your Needle Sealing. And you have 2 materials on this anyway, so you can protect yourself from both those board nukes. And on top of that, just whatever back row you like. It literally does not matter, just whatever you own. I wouldn't recommend playing battle traps like Mirror Force or your Magic Cylinder, as those cards I'm pretty sure just kind of suck. But things like Floodgate Trap Holes are of course fantastic. Also, probably don't play things like Karma Cup, which are discard cards, because you won't actually have any cards in hand. But anything else, just like your standard Trap Hole sort of cards, or whatever generic back row you own, things like even your Crackdowns if you have them. Actually, Crackdowns aren't that great either, because you've kind of filled up your field. But just whatever back row you own, go look at your trap cards. Any of them will do, just stuff that just disrupts your opponent, and you're good to go. So without further ado, that's enough of the deck list. Let's get into some gameplay. Alright, I hope you're ready to be absolutely disgusted, because these replays, I've only got 3 of them, but you only need to see 3 of them, because it does the exact same thing every single game, and you just pray you go first, because if you go first, you're probably not going to lose, unless your opponent has like a DD Crow or something. So let's get into it. So we'll start off with the first one, which I think was actually a going second replay. Sometimes you get lucky going second, and there's a couple of things you can do going second if your opponent doesn't wipe your entire field, but generally it's just hope your opponent doesn't have some sort of... Yeah, you just hope you go first. If you go second, your opponent's going to kill off your Gate Guardians before you even get to go into your combo, and you just kind of lose. Alright, so all these replays, by the way, were gathered in Platinum, but the season also just reset like 5 hours ago, so everyone's in Platinum. Alright, so first things first, oh, I actually went first this time. So first thing you do is summon out your Dracosac. Dracosac can summon 2 tokens to the field. Alright, then use these 2 dudes, 1 token and your Dracosac, to go into your Phoenix. Now you have a Nightmare monster on field, you can go into your Mermaid. Mermaid discarding a card, going searching for your Nightmare. Then you, like these 2 level 7s can go into a copy of your Eben, this so you can get your Tuner on field, being your level 4 normal monster. 4, 5, 6, 7, go into your Shooter Rising. This can then send a copy of your Magician's Robe to the graveyard for the following turn. Banish, send an Orcust, banish, special summon an Orcust. And these 2 then go into your Orcust Automaton. You then shuffle back into the deck, get a hold of your return, then draw 2 cards. Skeleton banish, summon back this dude, and go into an Evening Star. Now, by the way, you probably should be putting all these monsters in defense position, as the only time I've managed to lose going first to this deck list so far is when I left these in attack position and my opponent managed to get through my back row and then end on the Trickstar monster and the Trickstar hand trap and just beat over my monster and kill me, because I only have 500 life points. So you should probably put these in defense position. There's no real reason to have them in attack other than they have more attack. Ningirsu does protect them from battle anyway, so generally I think you should have your whole field in defense position. Just for these replays though, I didn't because I was unaware. Just kind of forgot my 500 life points. Alright, this dude was playing a Dark Magician. Oh, this poor man. Alright, so he's doing all this stuff. I don't really care too much about what he's summoning, because I'm just going to Black Rose Dragon his entire field in a second anyway. As soon as he sets all his stuff, tries to end the turn, I activate my Canadia, flip his monster face down, or tries to go past the main phase. In doing so, I activate a Spawn Trap card so I can summon this dude back. These 2 guys can have quick effect, Synchro Summon into Black Rose, and he's gone. And Ningirsu just completely protects my entire field from destruction, so this Black Rose will only affect him. Draw another back row, because that's all in my deck, other than 1 Orcust monster. So every single turn, I'm just going to draw back row, generally. This guy's just playing a billion Kite Raids for some reason. Alright, so hopefully you kind of get the gist of what this deck's doing, because that is going to be your general game plan. Alright, next replay. This one must be the going second replay, surely. Oh no, this is a little going second. This guy's playing, guy's just trying to do some train stuff. But once again, unfortunately for him, he was going for... I went first. Yeah, this deck, it won't lose going first, unless your opponent has specifically, like, DD Crow to stop you doing your Orcust play. Or you don't put your things in defense and your opponent has a, you know, Trickstar monster that beats you over for 20 billion damage. Alright, Mermaid, discard once again. And you'll notice, by the way, this card isn't part of your starting deck, so I literally haven't used a single card from my deck yet until now. This deck is literally a 0-card combo deck. You don't use a single card to get it started, you just have your skill, and that gets it started for you. Your skill is 100% getting nerfed or being banned. Konami hates this playstyle. Even if this deck list isn't necessarily broken, this is the playstyle Konami just does not let exist. It will be gone very shortly. Alright, Shooting Rising, sending a copy of your dude. Summoning out another dude. There are a couple of other very funny things you can do with this, by the way. I was experimenting with a bunch. You do like a Karakuri sort of combo and just summon Karakuri monster from the deck. I don't know why you would, but you could. You could end on like big level 11 synchro dudes if you like. It's some really sus stuff you can do with it. You can go into more linky plays and not bother with the whole synchro stuff. There's just a lot of cool shit you can do with it. I think this one's generally the best though, from all the different deck lists I've seen people building, so this is the one I chose to feature in the video. Alright, summoning your Evening Star. Once again, for some reason, didn't put this in defense. But I'm sure I'll be fine. I've got a Warning Point. I've got a Canadia. Alright, apparently we're summoning a dude. Try to summon another dude. We're just going to Warning Point this so he can't Xyz with it. Alright, Mitch is in Robe. And he concedes before I even get to Black Rose. Alright. This must be the going second replay. The very, very rare going second win. I did actually have a couple of going second wins. Because yeah, this deck list, if your opponent just like removes one of the Gate Guardians, it doesn't matter too much, because you can still do like almost full Orcust. You just do full. You actually can just do full Orcust combo anyway, and just Dingear one of your opponent's cards and have all this set up and draw two and have like basically good ways to deal with your opponent's stuff. And you do a Nightmare Phoenix as well, so you have a proper back row. So yeah, it's just not the greatest going second. Alright, summoning two dudes once again, going into my Phoenix. My opponent had some back row, could discard it and popped it if I liked. You may discard, summoning out your dude. Going for Eben, once again bringing out my Tuner. And yeah, it's very straightforward gameplay once you know the combo. It's going to do the exact same thing every game with no difference. The only difference is what trap cards you draw. Alright, summon out my symbol, go into a copy of my Aldo Maiden. Shovel back in, summon out my return. Draw a couple of cards. The only way this deck pseudo bricks is if your return draws one of your Orcus, because that means you just have one less back row. But that is like the most bricking you can do, because you'll still have one Orcus in the deck, so you shuffle one back in before you use the return, so I think that's the only way this deck sort of bricks. I tried to swap over a card. Unfortunately, this is a non-target removal source, and it's gone. And so is he. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe. Of course, I still have a whole bunch of deck lists planned, including one later today, which will be probably Gandora Orcust, I think I'm going to be making. So, if you want to see that, if you want to see any of the other videos I talked about earlier, remember to subscribe, like the video, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.